We were on our way to Florence, Oregon with some beautiful nature scenery on the side of us and some good talks with each other. The next morning, we woke up with some more gorgeous Oregon scenery. My brother stayed in a tent, and we stayed in a camper van, which really can only hold two people. There was a school bus, which I thought was really cool. I'm usually alone in the morning because it takes a while for my parents to wake up. So I usually just check out the nature and the campsite. So we did a little nature hike near our area in Florence, Oregon. We saw a scuba diver practicing, which I thought was really cool, and this bridge with the river and these overarching roots and this tree with the lake, which I thought was beautiful, with somewhat calm water actually, and these trees just enveloping you from the tops. We also stopped at one of the smallest parks in Oregon. It's a small state park in Oregon, which is called Pictured State Wayside, and the next stop was the dunes. So this activity right here was the main point of this trip, and as you can see, I have never drove an ATV or quad, so I'm learning the basics. I'm learning how the ATV/quad feels. My brother was a leader because he actually works at a place that sold ATV and quads, so he knows how these things work. And I'm just learning how this vehicle feels, how the turns are, how it is to stand up, all those types of things, how it is to go over these bumps, and just learning how the turn radius is, all those types of things. Because if you were to break one of these things, it'd be like at most $18,000. I know, insane, right? But I'm learning it, and as time goes, I get more and more comfortable. Eventually, we do go to this really tall dune. This is probably the biggest dune that was at this area in Florence, Oregon. So we all go up here as a beautiful scenic area overlooking all of the dunes. My brother, very nice. We only had about an hour or an hour and a half of driving, so we used this to make most of our time there. So we're driving down this big dune, being careful not to tip it over or anything like that because we didn't want to damage it, but also, having lots of fun going over these bumps, and for me, getting comfortable with the speed and all that type of stuff. By this point, though, I was pretty comfortable with the vehicle. I knew how the vehicle worked. And I'm just enjoying my time and enjoying the experience. It's pretty expensive, so if you ever do want to do this, it is an expensive activity, but I think it's worth it for anybody that has never been to the dunes. Worth doing at least once in your lifetime, kind of like scuba diving or skydiving. Worth doing once, right? So we're just going over the Oregon dunes, enjoying the scenery, enjoying going over these bumps and stuff. I would love to actually do it again and maybe even do it on some muddy terrain as well. But it is an expensive activity, so probably not anytime soon. Maybe to do it with some friends, maybe my best friend and my brother some other time. And I get more and more comfortable as the time goes on, and I think this is just a lesson to show that you can learn to do anything. It just takes time going over these big bumps, and I think this is just a lesson to anybody that you can learn to do anything. It just takes some time, and I think for me especially, with a vehicle or something like this, when I learn by doing. That's the easiest way for me to learn something. So if you're like me and you learn by doing something, just start out and do it, and then you'll get better at it, which I think is a good lesson for me with even this video, because I feel like editing this video was really hard, and I don't think even in the ending this video will be my most favorite video in the world, but yeah. So we're just going over more and more and more bumps, and I'm standing up, doing all this type of stuff. The GoPro was actually on my chest, which I think the angle would have been better if it was actually on my head. But it's hard to tell, but we're wearing helmets and wearing these goggles, so I didn't also want the GoPro to just fly off. I don't think it would have, but yeah. Going to get all in a line. Looks like we're a squad. We're pointing out to actually where we need to go back, because those tree lines with these two islands were a point of reference to figure out how to get back to actually deliver the quads back to their rental location. So we're going back there, and then there's this little muddy terrain. It's not muddy actually, but this little trail that you can see right here that we take the quads back. And it was a fun experience. I think it's worth it, and definitely enjoyable for all of us. My mom was a little more nervous than all of us, but she had a great time too. I put it in park, and then we go to the next morning. The last day was very rainy, and we headed home. That was the end of our trip, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and listening to it.